Welcome to The Real Deal, where it's all about businesses in central Massachusetts and northeastern Connecticut. And now, your host, Anthony Shabbat of Shabbat & Associates.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Real Deal Business Podcast. My name is Anthony Shabbat from Shabbat & Associates Real Estate Group of EXP. And on today's show, I have a very special guest. She is all over the place when it comes to Putnam, Connecticut and other surrounding areas, I'm sure. But I've known her a lot through the Putnam Business Association and the Courthouse restaurant. Welcome to Sheila Frost.
Thank you, Anthony. Nice to be here today.
So I'm really excited to have you here, and thank you so much for all that you do for the Putnam Business Association and Northeastern Connecticut in general to make our area a destination for all the surrounding areas. People come from far away to Northeastern Connecticut because of the Putnam Business Association and the great food that you have here at the Courthouse restaurant.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. I really do enjoy everything that I do.
So I've been a huge fan of Courthouse for a long time. Back when I lived right down the street, I used to be here, as you remember. I used to get takeout, I think.
With your little girls, right?
Like 3 nights a week we would get takeout. It was always the same order every single time. And I would stand at the end of the bar, get the takeout, and I'd park right out in front. I didn't know if I was supposed to do that.
I didn't see that.
So, all right, so give us a little bit of your background about Sheila Frost. Where are you from? What have you done throughout your life? That type of thing. A little bit of a mini biography.
All right. Well, I'm a Brooklyn girl, not a Brooklyn, New York, but a Brooklyn, Connecticut girl. That's where I went to school, and I went to Killenly High School. I also went to QVCC and a community college in Rhode Island, and basically took business classes through there and certainly enjoyed it and felt very comfortable in that genre. I've done a variety of different things over the years. When I was in my 20s, I worked for Estee Lauder, which were some of my most fun years of my life. I totally loved that job. I was a sales coordinator, and I worked all through New England. And I worked for a lot of different stores, and I did all sorts of things, from hiring people to doing special events for makeup and spa type events, and I loved it. But after that, I got married in 1996 to my husband James, and from there we opened the restaurant. It kind of just sort of it was the right thing to do because we both had worked in restaurants our whole lives. Mm-hmm. And my first job was at the A&W and Hank's restaurant in Brooklyn, Connecticut.
Oh yeah, I remember A&W.
Yeah. And that's where my mom did the same thing. And my husband worked for Michael Deary over at Deary Brothers Mike's Stand for years. So we had both been in restaurants, and I also did the retail as well. So opening a restaurant was just second nature for us. And I think we opened up the style of the Courthouse Bar and Grill, being a family-friendly and comfortable food, things that people really like, because it's what we liked. And after a long work week for myself, every Friday night, we used to go to Auburn up to the Piccadilly pub. And we liked that kind of environment, that it was casual and you could get good food and feel comfortable and relaxed at the end of the week. And that's really what we wanted to do.
Well, I remember when the Courthouse restaurant first opened in Putnam, it was a pretty big deal because there wasn't ever anything around our area that had that type of a theme where it's called the Courthouse. It's in the Courthouse building. Yep. And you have entrees called hung jury, which is what was my favorite. Yep. And it was just always, that's what I used to order every week pretty much. And it was just a sampler platter. When you couldn't make up your mind, you had a hung jury. And so then the thought that went into the names, I was really impressed with that. And then all the themes around the inside of the restaurant, all the pictures on the walls, everything was historic and court related theme. Really fun.
Yes, and I'll give a little bit of credit to my sister-in-law, Susan Burns. She's an attorney, so she helped us with some of the fun names, and she actually gave her legal law books from college, so those are kind of in piles around the courthouse here. So it's always nice to have a little nostalgia in the plans.
Yeah, so as I'm looking around here, I see it says 1889, and it's the courthouse building. So this was the Putnam Courthouse at one point, right? Was it?
Yes, it was. So the court was held upstairs.
Yeah.
And 1889 is the year that this building was built. And that number is outside above the door. So the year.
Yeah. Great art, by the way. I'm not sure who did that painting. Was that there before you came here? Or
Oh no,
that
we
was
had
done
that.
by-
We had that painted. The lady that painted that, her name is Sue, and I hope I'm not getting it wrong. I'm pretty sure her last name is Snelling, but I could be wrong. She was at the time she was living in Brooklyn, and she's a British lady, and she was working where is now Victoria Station. It was called Brighton Antiques.
Oh yeah, I remember Brighton Antiques.
And she
yeah.
worked there, and she was obviously an artist, so she painted that mural. And she also painted the judge that's over near the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she
That's
gave
great.
she gave a little nod to Michael Deary Sr. That's who it looks like a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Now
Yeah.
you mention it, I actually see the resemblance. That's pretty cool.
She's a lovely lady.
That's one thing I like to do with this type of a podcast is talk about the things that give a little bit of inside insight of local business owners. And I actually interviewed next door Rick Dwanzik an hour and a half. That was a long one.
Yeah.
But we went around the whole inside of his place.
Oh, that's
and
such a
talked
great
about it.
building.
It's a beautiful building. So tell us a little bit more about what types of food you have here at the Courthouse restaurant.
So we have everything from soups and salads to wraps, burgers, sandwiches, steaks, seafood. You name it, we have it. We have like 100 items.
Menu.
Huge menu. So many different ingredients. It's a tiny kitchen here at the Courthouse. So I give a lot of credit to my kitchen staff because they work tremendously hard in a tiny space, and the amount of food that we put out here is just mind-boggling. So I always give my staff a lot of credit here. They work very hard. We have just over 40 employees here.
Wow.
And some are, one shift a week, part-time, and some are full-time, and they all work very, very hard, and they're very dedicated to us, and we treat them very well. And I think that's important when you think about business. I mean, we are a small business. We are a one-store, mom-and-pop kind of place, and we know that our people work really hard here, so in turn, we make sure that we appreciate them.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a great location. You're right here, right in center stage, basically, of the First Fridays event on Main Street in Putnam. Right outside your door is pretty much right smack dab in the center of it all, of First Fridays, which is a great location. And I was wondering, when you mentioned about the small kitchens, some of my favorite places have small kitchens. I don't know what it is.
I know.
Maybe they just work better together. They know, like, one hand knows what the other hand is doing better in the smaller kitchens, because I seem to like the food better in the restaurants better with the smaller kitchens. I don't know if there's something to that, but I thought I'd point that out. I never noticed you had a small kitchen back there. It looks huge from here.
It does look huge. I think it also could just be, the way buildings are and the planning of it. When we first opened here, we had entertainment, and we thought we would be a little bit more entertainment and bar, but we really turned out to be more of a family restaurant.
Yeah.
So it evolved into what the customers wanted.
That's another good point, actually, is that before it was the Courthouse, was it Guido Murphy's? And I used to come to Guido Murphy's and watch the blues bands and play pool back in this room. So I've been coming to this building for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
It's a great historic place in Putnam.
Yep, absolutely. And we could have made the kitchen bigger, but I don't think we foresaw that. There are other things too, like the waitress station is so teeny back there. It's so narrow, and we do so much work back there. But it also gets everyone really close back there, and I see the girls whispering and talking and, becoming friends. And we've made a lot of friendships here. We've seen so many people over the years come and go, and people get married. One of our first employees that was here, they got married. They met here, they got married, they're still married, they got kids. And so, we've seen a lot of people come and go, customers too, and it's really been quite a ride. We've been open 21 years.
21 years. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It really doesn't seem like it's been that long time. It's been flying. So I wanted to kind of mention also some of the favorites that I always hear. The buffalo chicken tenders, right?
So our buffalo chicken tenders are probably our most popular
Is it really?
item. Oh, absolutely.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we get so many people. I've had several customers say to me, "I'm from Buffalo, and these are better than what we make in Buffalo."
Yeah.
So our buffalo chicken tenders are outstanding, and what goes equally as outstanding alongside of them is our house-made blue cheese dressing here.
That's very good.
And it's fantastic. We buy the best quality. And I think that's important too. We buy the best quality in everything we can here. I've had other sales reps come in here and say, send me like something cheap, and I call him and I'll say, "Why did you send me these plain strawberries?" And he'll say, I thought that's what you wanted, whatever's the cheapest. And I'm like, no, I want what is the best quality. Send me what people want here, what is good. So I think that's very, very important, is staying on top of that quality and quality control.
I also wanted to, I want to talk about some of the events that you have here throughout the year, but I also wanted to bring some light to the beer selection here, because I don't really necessarily remember there being a really wide variety of beers here before, but in the past year and a half or so, 2 years maybe?
Yep.
The beer selection is through the roof. You have such a great beer selection here now.
Thank you very much, and I'm going to give all the credit to that to Kelly Miller. She's one of my bartenders here, and she and her husband are really into the whole craft beer kind of thing. He does a little brewing himself, and also Ashley Garland that works here. She's the same. They're good friends, and they're both really into beer. So a few years ago, I turned to Kelly and said, okay, I'm kind of out of the beer loop here and you're really into it, so I'm going to hand that over to you and let you kind of take the reins. And we did actually, you are correct. We started out, I want to say we started out with like 6 beers on tap, or might have been 6 or 8, but I think it was 6. And now we have 16. Yeah, and
it's a huge menu.
It's huge. Our menu and our beer menu go hand in hand. And Kelly has done a great job with picking out what's really, sometimes she gets really hard to get things. Sometimes she just knows what people want, and she'll bring in what's called a log versus a keg, which is a smaller batch. So in that case, it's kind of hot to try.
Yeah, you can
people
change
come
it out
in.
quicker.
Yeah, and she'll say, well, this, it might not be here in a few days, and it's true, because we try to change things pretty frequently.
Okay, so let's get into some of the events that you have throughout the year. What are the bigger events that you have? Because I know you have quite a few.
We have so many events that the days just fly by for me, because there's so many planning meetings for it, and it takes a lot of people to pull off these really big events. So starting at the beginning of the year, we do Fire and Ice, and I've been working with Jen Brightowski on the Fire and Ice event.
So now we're kind of getting into the PBA stuff too,
Yes.
right? Okay. Did you want to separate the Courthouse events first and then get into the PBA events later?
Sure.
That way maybe we can make it a little bit easier for people to
That's
understand.
true. It all just blurs together on me, so go ahead and help me out with that.
Okay, so Courthouse events, let's start out at the beginning of the year. So do you have anything, January, February, March, typically? When is the clam bake event? That's a pretty big one, right?
So we do our clam bake 4 times a year now, and we do it June, July, August, September. We did it one time in January, and it was gangbusters. It was such a great concept, and we were booked solid for it, and that night ended up being a snowstorm, and we thought, oh no one's going to come, the roads will be bad. We did not have one cancellation.
Wow.
So I don't know what happens, but we forgot to do it, I think. But I actually just said to my beer rep from Wormtown Brewery in Worcester, we recently got Wormtown on tap because they just were able to start selling in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah?
And Wormtown has been fantastic. The sales
awesome.
are great, and the people that work in that company are outstanding.
Dave Fields,
Yes.
he's awesome.
They are.
You know what's crazy about Dave Fields is I see him in Worcester. I saw him at Treehouse Brewery the other day, and I've seen him around northeastern Connecticut too. He's all over the place.
They've supported everything here. They're here, and they're just this great group of guys. So I'm very pleased with them. And I actually said, let's do a clam bake hopefully this January. So if I can remember to plan one more event, I'll get that going. So hopefully we'll have that in January. But February is Fire and Ice, but March is my favorite event of the year, which is the Courthouse Putnam 5K.
That's a big one.
It is a big one. And the reason we have that event is, I think it was it was either 2008 or 2009. I was into doing 5Ks, and I love St. Patrick's Day. It's my favorite day of the year. I think it's a fun day. There's no gifts involved. It's just, I love corned beef and cabbage. It's like, have a beer, be
The whole
Irish.
theme.
Love it. I love
Irish
it.
music. And,
I love it.
yeah,
I
it's
love
great.
everything about it. There's no pressure. It's just, let's just have fun and think green and have a good day. So anyway, so I found this event at the Hartford 5K. And I got a handful of people from the Courthouse here to do it with me. Justin Dumas, Kay Salvis, it was me and one more person, and I'll think of who the fourth one was in just a minute, but it was so great. We did a restaurant relay that year. It was part of the 5K. And anyway, I did it again the following year by myself, and at the end of the day, I said, why do I have to drive all the way to Hartford?
Yeah, I love that idea. I mean, that you brought it here.
Yeah,
That's great.
I said we should have this big party in Putnam. So the day after the event, I put a call into Hartford Marathon Foundation. I got Beth Schluger, and I said, I'd really love to bring this to Putnam. And she said, okay, yep, let me take your name and number. Sure, I'll come on down. And she came here, and she was like, okay, let's give it a try. And the first year that we did it, we had over 600 runners, and she said, it's a hit. So the people of Putnam feel the same way as me. They want to have a beer, they want a corned beef sandwich, they want to go for a run and start the season. And I could not be happier to see. We are at over 1,200 runners every year. And it makes me so happy because so many families come out for it. You see moms and dads and the little ones.
It's so much fun to bring the kids and dress up.
It is.
And,
it is.
And to know that, in my case, to know that you're almost done with wintertime and that spring is right around the corner, which is great. And then it's just a fun party day. Also, has that always been Harpoon IPA that has been the sponsor?
No.
Is that like a connection with the
No, I think Harpoon worked with HMF for their marathon in October, and I definitely had Harpoon to begin with because I think I had their they had an Irish beer and I really wanted it, but every year it kind of changes.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So it's not always Harpoon.
Nope.
So you could change it out and have a different brewery every year if you wanted to be the featured beer. So when you buy your ticket to do the 5K, you run around and it's about a half hour to an hour depending on your speed, typically, and let's see. And then after you're done, you get a beer, you get a pint glass, right? Is that right?
Every year the swag changes a little bit, but for your entry fee, you get to run the race. You get the swag has turned into a winter hat. At first it was a T-shirt, but then the winter hat has been awesome. I think people really like that, so that's
very
really
visible
good.
Too.
Very visible, and everyone puts it on.
Time.
Yeah, everyone puts it on because it's usually, like you said, it's cold. But there's a beer and a corned beef sandwich at the end of the race. The pint glasses that you might be thinking of are usually for the winners. So we have winners for every age group, the overall winners and that kind of thing. So we have gift certificates to the overall winners, top, first, second, and third, women, male and female. And then the age groups. And then, of course, for the little ones, too, they get some stuff, too. They get some really cute swag.
Oh, and there's a separate race for the kids on the other side of, right down by the DMV municipal parking lot over there.
Yep, it's called the Wee Mile.
The Wee Mile, yeah, that's fun to watch too. So there's really two events. So that's the first one. Get the kids out and let them have some fun without going too crazy. And then also you have the more adult type of an event where you just run the 5K, and that starts same location, right? Same starting location.
Yeah, we've been over there for the first year. Was a completely different route, and it didn't work out with the police department and the hospital. We had to make sure everything was safe, so we changed the route, and it starts, like you said, right in front of Girardi Insurance on.
So it's kind of crazy because that's really not a restaurant event, but it is the Courthouse of Putnam 5K.
So we are the title sponsor.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I see.
Yep. So
But that goes to show you your involvement in the area. And we just went off on a tangent talking about that for about 5 minutes. This is just one small piece of what you do in northeastern Connecticut. So thank you so much for all you do. You make our area a better place.
Thank you.
So let's get into the next one. That's more of like a restaurant. What are some other events that you have here at Courthouse throughout the year? Is there a lobster? I thought there was like a lobster.
We do. The clam bake.
Okay, that's still the clam bake one?
The clam bake, yep.
So it's a clam bake, and tell us what is included with the clam bake.
So we've been actually doing that for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it includes 2 cups of our award-winning clam chowder, which is fantastic and so delicious. We won an award for that years and years ago, and it's still the same recipe, so it's always going to really it's good. And then it comes with clam cakes, a pound of steamers, 2 lobsters, which are 1 1/4 pound, and baked potato, corn on the cob. So it is.
No wonder it's knocking it out of the park with all that stuff.
It's a lot of food.
Yeah. What you don't remember the ballpark price range for that?
It's right around $60 dinner for 2.
Dinner for 2, and it's $60. That's actually pretty good compared to when I'm used to going out. A lot of times it's could be $75, and that includes lobsters and steamers for $60, which is actually a great deal. No wonder it sells out every year, right? Does it sell out pretty much every year? Or?
We do. We require reservations for that because we have to order the exact amount of lobsters. We usually order like at least a dozen extra because there's always walk-ins. But we do need a pretty specific amount because, sometimes we've had to order 120 and then the next month it's 70. So that's a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely.
So, there is a lot of planning for that event. So that's why we ask for reservations on that. And like I said, it's around $60. It does fluctuate a little bit because the price of lobster always changes.
And then you have it in June, July, August, and September?
Yes. It's usually the third Thursday of every month.
Is it in the morning or afternoon?
Oh, no, 4 till 9.
4 till 9. So you can come in anytime in between 4 and 9?
Yes.
That's great.
Yep.
So third Thursday, you could also go to the Willimantic third Thursday.
Yeah.
Come to Courthouse for dinner. I don't know what time their event is actually. I don't know if I asked Jean Dismay what the hours were for that. But anyway, okay. So let's get back to the Courthouse. So what other things about the Courthouse can we talk about? Do you have other events on a weekly basis or like little notable things? I think there was trivia at one time. I don't know how that's.
We do still have trivia. It's always ongoing, and it's an app on your phone.
Okay.
So it's great. You can come in, and it's always on the TVs. And I know one thing I always remember is whenever the power goes out, you'll see families sitting here doing the trivia, because they can't cook and be at home. But anyway, we always have the trivia going. We don't do a trivia night anymore. We did it for a little while, but it kind of bothered other people that didn't want to be
separate event, not part of the dining experience.
Exactly. So we kind of did away with having that event type style thing. But we always have it running. We do have a happy hour. So we do that Mondays through Friday, 2 to 5 p.m. And it's a good happy hour. It's some kind of light selections that aren't too heavy and you can still make it home in time for dinner. But we've got some really good happy hour items. I think one thing that we're always good about on a daily basis is being family friendly. We always have placemats and crayons for kids here. We have high chairs, and we have a staff that is
very family friendly.
Very family friendly.
Oh, yeah.
And our staff is so good with kids.
You have no hesitation to bring the kids here. It's every time you come in here, you see families. That's primarily what it is a family restaurant.
Yep.
So let's see. I always forget in the beginning of the podcast. It's always I should actually create a list, but I usually just tend to wing it and try to go by memory, which is probably not a good idea for me. I should always have a checklist. Contact information. So phone number, email address, web address for you. Okay,
so the phone number here at the Courthouse is 860-963-0074, and we do accept reservations of parties of 5 or more, like on a daily basis. But special events, Mother's Day, that kind of thing, we always require reservations. We are located at 121 Main Street here in Putnam, Connecticut. Our website is courthousebarandgrill.com, where we post our daily specials, and we have our event menu and other logistics type things. My phone number is 860-428-9995. As the business coordinator, you can reach me at coordinator@putnambusiness.org.
Yep. Okay. And all right, so I think we pretty much summed up the majority of the Courthouse information. I'm trying to think of if there's any other information we want to talk about before we finish it up, but I guess we can always come back to it if you find something. But now let's get into the Putnam Business Association.
Okay.
And I know it's probably quite a blur because you do so much, but do you remember how long ago it was when you first got involved, approximately?
Well, I think the actual organization, and I'm not sure specifically. I know Ron Kadir was the first president.
I was there for that, actually. I do remember that. I think it was like 2009.
Okay. I was going to say 2010, so I think you're correct. I think it was right around that same time. So a lot has happened in this decade. When I really think about all these events, we're kind of at a 10-year mark for almost everything. So the organization itself, as we said, it started with Ron Kadir. Chris Kadir was the first business coordinator, Ron's son, and he's actually a good friend of my husband's. He was in our wedding. And
I know Chris.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So he did it for a number of years. And after that, I think we had Andy Morrison.
Oh, I didn't realize he was the business coordinator. Okay.
Yeah, we had Andy Morrison for a little
I know
while.
Andy too, yeah.
He's a great guy.
He's an excellent presenter too.
Yes. And after that, Marcy Dolly and I've been doing this position now for about a year and a half. So With the business association, we are currently at 208 members, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And we're very active. And you've been to our monthly member meetings. We always have about 80 people or more, which is tremendous.
It is.
It is. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of people who can't wait to share what they're doing in their business. There's a lot of networking. And we talk a lot about what our subcommittees are doing, which most of them are events, but some of them are like beautification, which is also part of town development from Delphi Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So we just do so many different things. The biggest event we do of the year is First Fridays, and that's because it's 6 different months.
Right.
So there's a lot of planning, and it has really evolved into being such an event and a theme to it for every month. So.
Yeah, I have to say First Fridays, and I'm pretty sure Putnam won a huge award this past year. Delphi talked about it at one of the PBA meetings, and I'm pretty sure that it was First Fridays. Really, I mean, there are so many great events, but First Fridays, you're right. There's so many of them that it's just ongoing. It's constant. There's always one coming up. There's another theme coming up. There's different bands that are going to be there. Are you signing up for a table? Are you going to just go bring the kids there and go around and have a good time? So there's always something to look forward to, which is really nice because our area wasn't always like this. And Putnam's come so long in such a relatively short period of time. Our area wasn't really known for those types of things back then, but now thank God there are people around that care, that take the time to organize and make it a better place. So that's I think the best part about the whole thing is that our area just really benefits from all of these people that are putting all this time into all of these events and making it a destination for people even surrounding areas. When you try to think about locations in the area that you can go to a downtown and enjoy yourself, I think of Federal Hill in Providence, Shrewsbury Street in Worcester, Mystic, Connecticut, I guess Warwick, but there's so much in Warwick up and down the main street. It's not like a downtown area, right? So, and there are other areas, but I think Putnam falls into that now, and we didn't really have a place like that in Northeast Connecticut that fit that description before. So, really, quite a bit of great things are happening in Northeast Connecticut, and I think PBA has led the way in a lot of things. I can't think of another town. Well, I haven't been to the Norwich First Friday or the Willimantic Third Thursdays. But Putnam in this area of northeastern Connecticut is the only town that does a lot of huge events like that. Nobody even comes close, which says a lot for Putnam in the business owners in our area. And I've lived in northeastern Connecticut my whole life, and even going out into Massachusetts, I attend a lot of other business networking associations and also chambers of commerce and that type of thing. And Putnam it's an anomaly. There's something I don't know what it is, but there's something in the air, something in the water in Putnam, Connecticut that makes it a better place. I
think we're all very proud of this community, and we continually want to make it better. And as I said, with having so many people that come to that monthly member meeting, it's like a camaraderie, and it's easy to get people involved, and they want to be involved, and they come with more ideas, and that's great. So I think that's probably what it is. It's just all about the people.
I've recently gotten involved with the Killingly Business Association, and they've been doing a lot of good things for quite a few years also, but it just doesn't seem to have the impact that the Putnam Business Association has, because you know what it is, having gone to all of their meetings and having gone to all of your meetings, and I've missed the few recent ones because I've been too busy doing the Killingly stuff, but there's not as many people involved in the Killingly Business Association as there are in Putnam. But since I've been heavily involved about a year ago, there seems to be quite a surge of new life and enthusiasm in the organization, which is amazing, because I think we started doing second Saturdays, kind of following in Putnam's footsteps. Willimantic, Norwich too, but closest to us, Putnam. And it's great to have somebody that we can look at over there and say, look what these guys have done. Look how far they've come. And we need to be doing the same thing to make our area a better place too. Even though I live in Putnam, I was living in Killingly before. So, thank you for leading the way, kind of setting the bar for everybody, and giving us some pointers, things to learn, like what we can do, what we maybe think, lessons that you've learned that you shouldn't do those in the future. Actually, that's probably another good thing too. Are there things that maybe we should consider that would be good for our area, and we can talk about this after too, or things that maybe we should avoid, or lessons that you've learned and that type of thing? I guess we can get into that down the road, But I got off the tangent of the PBA a little bit too much. Let's talk about some of the other events for the Putnam Business Association. Let's start out with the beginning of the year. Fire and Ice is the first big one, right?
It is, and we're going into our 10th year for that as well. So my co-chair for that is Jen Brightowski, who love her like a sister.
Also, she's
She's
should be interviewed.
amazing. You should absolutely interview her. She has endless energy. She's younger than me, so she has a lot more stamina sometimes. No, she's just tremendous. She's actually from the Worcester area as well.
I didn't know that.
She came to Putnam. She's got 2 young girls. And
Adorable.
Beautiful girls.
Yeah.
They're so sweet. But anyway, she loves Putnam, and she loves all the businesses equally. She's just always there to just lift everyone up and keep everyone going.
It's people like that that are so crucial to these organizations, and Putnam has more of those types of people than any organization I've ever seen. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it is. And we love to work together. We got together yesterday for the Fire and Ice Committee, and I was like, are we all excited to be here? Because this is the most fun committee. And we're just joking and laughing.
It's a great
and
event.
We love the event. But the planning leading up to it, because we love our committee, it makes it worthwhile, because it's almost like it's our own little group. We love it. But we are so welcoming for more people. Yesterday we had Sue Gardner. She joined the committee last year, and she brought a huge group of people. She works over at the hospital, and she brought a big group of volunteers. And I tell you what, we can't get enough volunteers.
Yeah,
it
you
takes
need 'em.
so
You
many
really
people. And last year was bitter cold. It was so incredibly cold out there. So you need more volunteers to replace people, because you can't stay out there,
That's the other incredible thing, is that the Fire and Ice event is right around Valentine's Day. It's kind of the coldest, least
It was so cold
welcoming
this year.
time of year.
It was so windy and cold this
you
year.
still knock
The
it
year
out of the park.
before, it was like 50 and rainy, and that's terrible too, because
the
that
ice sculptures.
Melts the ice.
So let's give an overview of what the Fire and Ice event is. It's the biggest ice sculpture event in the country, right?
In North America.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told. And
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I tell you what, the Ice Matters people, they're down in Cheshire, Connecticut, and that's where we get our ice from. They are a great group of guys. They're the professional ice sculptors, and they bring it all up here, and
Yeah,
they
they're very
love
visual.
this event.
I love it. They're out there with the Dremels or some. So I don't even know what the power tools they are that are using, but you see the ice flying, and the videos that you guys have had done for Fire and Ice and First Fridays are top notch.
Yeah.
The slow motion with the cool stabilization, and
It's
you're going
awesome.
around. They really do a nice job to promote that.
They're awesome to work with, and I think that's key. Like we just said, it's all about the people. So that event it started as being a romantic Valentine's event, and special dinners, and having some sculptures and some fire pits outside, and that really and truly is the base of it. But it's gotten so big. Last year, when it was that warm day, I think we had at least 5,000 people out there. I would have said closer to 7,000 people.
It was crazy. I was all over the
I've
place
never
that day.
seen so many people.
And you know what else is crazy is that every single restaurant, from what I could tell, every single table from the beginning of the event until the end of the night was 100%
Yeah,
full. There was not a vacancy anywhere.
It's our busiest day of the year now. It's busier than Mother's Day.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
And it's not just even in downtown. It's actually fills out when people get.
Yes. No, you're right.
Probably there's too many people in downtown Putnam. We got to
It's
go
true.
outside of Putnam.
I've heard other people in the surrounding towns say that, so you're absolutely correct. And that's great. We're
Yeah.
happy to do that. I mean, and as I said, my staff is tremendous. There are some of them that work a double that day, and I think, how do you physically do it? But they're tremendous, and that's the same way with all the workers up and down the street here.
So we have Courthouse of Putnam 5K. Actually, Fire and Ice is first.
Yep.
Then Courthouse of Putnam 5K.
Which is this year, it's the Sunday before St. Patrick's Day. I think it's the 10th this year, but I'm not certain.
A tough time of year to be training for a 5K because the
Yes.
roads are terrible. You got to go to the treadmill.
Yes, what I will say about the best thing for runners with the Old Putnam 5K is that it's the milestone race. So it's the first race of the year.
Of the three, right? This is like a Hartford.
Well, there's 4 now,
Oh, okay.
but I mean of their whole season.
Oh, I
So if
see.
you have to be on the treadmill all winter, or you switch to some other kind of conditioning through the winter, when you that's your first 5K of the year, you can compare it to the last 5K to see your improvement.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So we have Fire and Ice, Courthouse of Putnam 5K, and then So the Fire and Ice is in February. Courthouse of Putnam is in March,
Mm-hmm.
and then April. Is there anything?
We threw in a Fairy Fest this year because we didn't have anything to
How could I
do. You know,
forget
like
Fairy
we
Fest?
weren't. I was like, can we have a month off? No, we can't have a month off. So we actually threw in a Fairy Fest, and what an incredible day it was. It was a beautiful sunny day after a cold winter. And I just couldn't believe the sights that I saw out there. People came in fairy costumes. I saw people dressed in gnome costumes, elves.
Right, yeah.
We had our fairy houses in the windows, the fairy doors outside. Everything was fairy, and there were vendors everywhere that sold fairy items.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, and we actually did a birthday party here in the front room for a little girl, Avery Dumas. She's adorable.
Yeah,
And she had a
I was here
room
for the
full-
whole thing.
It was great.
was
And we had a
great.
room full of little girls up here, and we did crafts, and it was a whole fairy birthday party, and it was wonderful. So anyway, the streets were closed, and it was another event, and it was a really good day.
I did a drone video for that. Beautiful day for Fairy Fest, and I walked around showing some of the ground level with the stabilization on the drone, kind of like just getting a feel for what it's like to be on the ground, because the drone is nice. It shows an overview, but it's nice to also see what's going on the ground level. So that was a fun event. We had Fire and Ice in February, we had Courthouse of Putnam 5K in March, and then Fairy Fest in April, and then we have the first Friday start in May, and those are street festivals with 50 vendors approximately, something like that.
Yep.
Multiple bands.
Yep.
It's an event that starts every first Friday of the month at about 5:30.
We actually moved it up. It was 6 to 9, and just this year we moved it 5 to 9.
5 to 9, okay.
Which was it's been good. It's been well received.
Yeah, we had a really good year.
Yep.
And the weather was just great all
Yeah,
year
we had
long, I think.
September was rainy, I was hugely disappointed because it was Comic-Con.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was really sad about that because I put so much effort into that. But
Woodstock was really great, though.
the Woodstock, the
might have
August
been my
event,
favorite one
it
ever.
was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
That was our best turnout this year. That was a beautiful day. Everyone can throw on a tie-dye shirt and
It's easy, but it's also fun because you get kind of like the hippie type of music, going on in the back. So you have the themes of like the Woodstock type music going on. Everybody's wearing the headdress or headband rather. Like the women are wearing a headband and kind of like it was really
peace
cool.
vibe.
It was very fun.
Yeah, it was
and
good.
then there's Volkswagen Bugs everywhere or
Yep.
the vans and everything.
Yeah.
So all right. So after all of the first Friday's events, then what do we have after that? It's the
So the October 1st Friday this year, the theme was steampunk, which was very interesting. That was the first time we've ever visited
we had
that.
Great Pumpkin Fest actually before that, right?
No,
Or
that one's coming up.
still?
That's
Oh,
next
okay. I'm
Saturday.
sorry.
It's this year. It's October 19th. So the Great Pumpkin Festival. I'm assuming that's right around the 10-year mark too.
There's
but
so many events, I can't even keep track.
Karen Osby from Winnie Radio is the chairperson for that event, alongside Willie Biscuit from the town.
Okay.
And it's the same kind of thing. I think we have more vendors that day. It has to be a lot more because the entire side, if I'm not mistaken, near across from Putnam Bank, that entire parking lot is filled with vendors. I don't think there's any parking there. So, and then there's vendors on this side of the street, and it goes
For
all the way down.
Great Pumpkin you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
And it goes all the way down towards the post office, and even near the library.
I remember
think she
last
puts
year
a
that
bounce
seemed to be a
house
pretty
and
big event.
right. So it's huge, and then I know that there's even entertainment all the way to Cargill Chevrolet.
Oh, wow.
So it does go in multiple directions. It's not just like First Friday is just Main Street, but Karen really spreads that out. One year we even had a shuttle bus.
What about the train? Is that on Great Pumpkin
It
Day?
is, yes. And this year, the train, well, every year, the train comes from Blackwell to Putnam, and it drops off, and it's already sold out. It's close to 400 people. I think it's like 370 or something like that. So that comes to town at 11 o'clock, and all those people just scatter. They shop for the vendors. They come in here, and they eat. And then at 11:30, 300, and I think it's 370, get on the train, and we take a scenic tour, and that scenic ride is 90 minutes, and it goes down to the Jewett City area, it loops around and comes back.
I have done that before.
Have you? I actually have never been able to because I'm always working. And this year I bought a ticket. I'm going with my
great.
friend Jen. So I'm very, very excited to get on that train this year.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to take some time outside of running the event so you can actually experience it and have some fun too.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. So Steampunk just happened this past Friday. That was a great event. I think the weather was a little cooler. It seemed like, I don't know, to me it seemed like it was a little bit like everybody, the way I looked at it was everybody was almost first Friday'd out. from all of the other First Fridays throughout the year. It's just like there's only so much stimulation you can take before you're just kind of like, woo, this is crazy. You guys are insane doing all the work you do.
I will say that I went around and talked to the vendors, and the vendors that we had for that particular event really had a lot of steampunk stuff.
Yeah.
And they did very well.
Oh, good.
So I agree with all of that.
People were into
but they were very into it. And I think it brought a lot of people from areas like Manchester, Connecticut, and the Worcester area. I guess they have some steampunk clubs.
Yeah.
Organizations, whatever, what have you.
It was very well attended. It's just that I personally, I think I was running around putting the screen up for the guest speaker, Bruce Rosenbaum from he's a star of this Netflix series called Amazing Interiors.
Oh, very cool.
And I actually did a virtual tour and a drone video and photography of, he's got the steampunk Wonderland in Palmer, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So he was the guest speaker, second floor Victoria Station Cafe. I set up the flat panel TV and a laptop for him, and I had to do a lot of running around, scrambling around, getting that set up for him. So I was running back and forth and making sure everything was good with that. So I didn't really get too much time to really experience it. I was just kind of like, you know how it is when you're running things and you can't really see it. So, but it was still a good event and it was fun. And then so after the Steampunk is a great pumpkin fest coming up.
Yes.
And all of this information is found on the website on putnambusiness.org.
It is. So we have putnambusiness.org and we have discoverputnam.com. And the Discover Putnam website, who our fabulous Rachel Dykman is the person who oversees that. She puts up all that information. All the event information that you need is right there. That's where you purchase your train tickets. It's where you sign up if you're local and you want to put a scarecrow up in town. You can also sign up to be a member on the putnambusiness.org and pay right online.
Right.
So
nice.
A lot of thanks go to Rachel because she really puts a lot of time in as a volunteer doing that. Also, let's squeeze in one more thing.
Sure.
In between those two events, we have the Zombie Fashion Show.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's Jen Brightowski's baby.
Yes.
She loves that event. She is all things
It's an
zombie
awesome
right
event.
now.
It
She
really is incredible.
absolutely loves it. She's got a great little committee going there.
It's unlike any other event throughout
It's
the year.
amazing. So
it's really cool.
The Zombie Fashion Show has traditionally been on the night of First Friday, October.
Yes, I was there for all of them, I think.
But it got so big that now it's a night of its own.
You couldn't see because, and I think that might have been why they moved it, because you couldn't really see all the
There were so many people.
all the kids dressed up coming down the aisle for the fashion show, dressed up like zombies.
Yep.
Because there were so many people there, like you literally had to lift the kids up, and I think that's why they moved it to the Rotary Park, right?
Yep, because we have that beautiful bandstand over there.
Yes.
So Willie Biscuit over there and Jen worked on I think it's a ramp, or an extension of
You've expanded it, the stage bigger.
Right,
Yeah.
extending, and part of the reason for that was for Zombie Fashion Show and for our big ornament.
I know.
There's another thing we can talk
Non-stop.
about. So, so the Zombie Fashion Show, currently we have about 30 people signed up with some really cool names. I think one was Justin Bleeder, like really great zombie names. So that is Friday night, October 18th. It starts at 7 p.m. in Rotary Park, and we're super excited. The stage that is planned, it's like a haunted house kind of zombie stage, is going to be fantastic. So please try to come out and see that. It's going to be really beautiful.
That I would highly recommend. Anybody that hasn't seen that event before, it is a spectacle unlike anything I've seen, I think, in northeastern Connecticut before. Gary O is the officiator. Scario. So he is the announcer for the whole event, I'm pretty sure. And he's awesome. I mean, he is just incredible.
Yep.
And so he's just telling everybody what's going on through the whole event. There's music playing in the background. The people are coming down the stage, walking down the catwalk, right? And then everybody's dressed up like zombies for the most part, and there's different themes, and there's lights flashing all over the place, and everybody's cheering everybody on, and there's a line of about 50 people waiting to go on for the catwalk.
Yeah.
It's pretty darn cool. If you haven't seen it before, put it on your calendar because you're not going to want to miss it. It's really a lot of fun.
It is. It's awesome. So I can't say enough about that. So we won't be tired enough that night. We're doing that great pumpkin festival first thing in the next morning. So we're not resting much here in Putnam. But we certainly welcome the community. It's a great event. We also had a couple other town events, which Savor the Flavor.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was early September, and that's in the park, and that's getting bigger every year. And it's a little sampling of all the restaurants that choose to sign up.
I was so bummed. I missed the bacon last year. When I showed up, it was already sold out.
Yeah, it really, it's a really tricky event because, we made enough food this year for, I think we went over. We made food for like 500 to 600 And it just, the food goes so fast. But anyway,
Yeah, a lot of people
it's a great event.
were there this year.
Yep, that's a great event. But we work with the town on that. That's also with Willie
Oh, okay.
Biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
Willie is incredible too.
And just like the Dazzle Light Parade,
Right.
which is that Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend, and that is Gary Osprey works with that, and Karen with the town as well. So
Which also reminds me, so there's the Holiday Dazzle Light Parade, which is just this incredible parade with all the Christmas lights decorating all the floats of all the businesses and local nonprofit organizations that are involved in that. It starts on Grove Street over by, all the way down by Kings Inn area.
Yep.
And goes all the way over to, it ends at Owen Tar, and it goes right through downtown on 44, then across Rotary Park, and it's
tremendous.
another pretty incredible
It's beautiful.
event.
It's beautiful.
It's a lot of fun.
Families love it. They come. I know we're full all day here at the restaurant with families coming in early, getting a bite to eat, and so they can start, because I think it starts at like 5 or 5:30.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, so people come early, and then they go out there and they stake their claim and park or sit or what have you, depending
Gary's
on the weather.
got the light bulb suit.
Yeah.
It's just covered with light bulbs all over it. He starts it out. Hey,
That's
everybody, welcome to the Holiday Dazzle Light Parade.
Yeah.
And the music starts, and it's like all I can think of is
It's
the
great.
All I Want for Christmas playing in the background
Oh,
through
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing. That's what you hear. That's what makes me feel like it's such a warm, cozy. You're
Yep.
getting ready for Christmas
Yep.
and everything, and
Absolutely.
everybody's out having a good time.
And then right after that, we will have holiday strolls, which is our weekends in downtown here.
Those have
With-
been going on for a long time.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. We have a gingerbread house contest, and that's fun. So those go in the windows.
I can't believe we're remembering all this stuff.
I know.
It's pretty
I
incredible.
know. Good thing I'm a good talker.
I actually, when the Putnam Business Association became the Putnam Business Association, transferred over from the Putnam Merchants Association, I actually had the honor of creating the first logo and the first
Oh,
website.
nice.
And then since then, I realized at that point I was doing video production in Worcester, and I was trying to kind of do it in Northeast Connecticut, realized the budget wasn't there. So I actually ended up leaving Northeastern Connecticut for work for about 10 years.
Okay.
And but I was heavily involved in the PBA. I really just enjoyed it, but
Yep.
I wasn't for my type of business. I realized I wasn't getting out of it what I needed to, and I needed to focus on making money. So I went out to Worcester for a while, and then now I'm a real estate agent. So I came back here again, and now I'm all over the place with
Awesome.
all the local
Yep.
organizations. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. We work hard, but we have a good time, and like you said, we get everyone involved here.
It's overwhelming. You got to
It
be
is-
careful
it is.
how much you commit to.
I know,
when you get
I know,
involved in an
I
organization
know.
like this.
It's true.
Because you don't want to overcommit, because you still need to do all your other stuff, and it's a
Right.
volunteer position. So you don't make any money for being involved and volunteering your time and doing all these things. But once you commit to it, you're going to be counted on to get this stuff done.
Yeah, it's true.
So you have
It's
to
true.
make sure that you're going to be available to get this stuff done, attend the meetings and the emails and the phone calls and the planning to make all this stuff happen. But it's important. So what other? The river fires.
River fires are also a town event, so that goes under the umbrella of Willie Biscuit with the rec department there, and he does a tremendous job
Yeah,
there.
no other town in Northeast Connecticut does anything like that.
Nope, I think the
it's
only
a pretty
place
big
I've
event.
ever heard of doing that is Providence. So
Water fire. And I was
Yep.
talking to Gary O when I interviewed Gary O. He brought that idea, and like you were saying, what was it you with the marathon? So you brought the Courthouse of Putnam 5K here. Gary O brought water fire, turned it into river fire, with in association with Willie Biscuit. They tried doing it for a long time, would not get the couldn't get the approval. And that's another thing I find when you try to bring ideas from other places that you see making a huge difference in other areas, you will get some pushback from the town specifically a lot of times until you prove yourself. Or
Yeah.
you come up with a plan and you say, here's the plan, we're going to lay it out like this. You have to find people that are good at that stuff. Well, unless you're good at it. I don't have the luxury of being good at organizing things like that, but I find people that are good at it, and I've been working my way with the Killing Lake, getting stuff done like that. So let's see, what other? I think we're up to the Zombie Fashion Show is October, was it 18th?
18th, Friday night, yeah,
What time does it start? Do you know?
7.
7 p.m. Oh, so pretty late.
Yeah, it's gonna be dark.
Okay.
I think you can get there earlier so you can check in and that kind of thing, but the actual runway event will be, so it's be dark.
Got another one. Light Up Putnam.
Yes. Now,
Three phase, right?
This is phase 3. I'm glad you brought that up because I keep thinking about that. So Willie Biscuit actually came together with Delpha Very, who she is our beautification chairperson for PBA.
Delphi does a lot, yeah.
But she also is the town economic and development person. She works for the town.
Right.
So the two of them decided let's pool our resources here and put together a small committee called Light Up Putnam. And I've been on that committee with Jen Brightowski. Renee Smith is on that committee. Marcy Dolly, my mom, her name's Rose, and Rose Bowman. And let's see, who am I don't want to forget anyone. Barney has been joining in on us.
Barney
and
Sine,
also Barney Sine,
the legend.
wonderful, is our wonderful, very, very, very active, very dedicated mayor. And Rachel Dykman has actually recently joined us as well. So anyway, our efforts have included the very first year of Light Up Putnam. We put more lights here on Main Street. And I can't say enough about our sponsors. It's the people that write checks, whether they are the big fat checks that are major sponsors, or if it's the people in the park that are taking $5, $10, $20 and throwing it into the basket, because it all adds up. And each year we have raised about $20,000. So
you're talking about the Light Up Putnam.
I'm talking
event.
about Light Up Putnam.
The 3 phases. I remember that I went to the celebrity karaoke. Was there a
Yep.
celebrity bartender before that?
Yes.
Okay. So was there? Or was that the Now? I'm thinking of the Now event.
It may have been Now, but we did do a celebrity bartender night to put that big sign on the trestle.
Okay.
So that was a few years back, because I did that with the owner of Earl, and I remember being there with the owner of Bella's. So it was a few years ago. So that particular bartender night was for we called it Tussle for the Trestle.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Trestle, something like that. So we have done that, but last year we did a celebrity karaoke, and we did it over at the Crossings. And if anyone was there, they'll remember Matt DeZonia. He was the big winner of the night.
Oh really?
Yes, because
Wow.
he sang My Ding-a-ling, and it couldn't have been funnier. So that was really a lot of fun. And then this year, the big winner was my very own husband, who sang like Bruno Mars.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he was great. So we
Very
raised over $6,000.
Wow. Where was that one this year? Was it Crossing?
This year we did it at the Black Dog.
Okay, I was
Yep.
there. I was actually
Yes,
there for that one.
that was great.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So
event.
we
That was so much fun.
had wonderful singers all night long.
Willie was the officiator for that
Willie
event
was
too.
so
He did a
funny.
pretty good job.
He was great.
I've never
I
seen him
laughed
ham
all
it up
night.
like that before.
He was great.
So that was
so
fun.
we had wonderful people all night long. Same with last year, and then we actually added one more of this sort of theme event for the Light Up Putnam, and it's called Conquer the Comic. So this year, next month, because we need another event for me to keep me busy on, November 7th, and it's right here at the Courthouse. And what it is we're having a professional comedian, Scott Higgins.
Scott Higgins, yes.
Yep, and he's bringing also 2 other comedians, so they're going to get the crowd going. But then we have some local celebrities that think they're funny, and they're going to get up and try to be funnier. So same kind of concept. If you think your other guy is really funny and funnier than Scott, then you're going to throw the money in the basket for him. And basically what it is all about is raising money for Light Up Putnam.
So what is last year it was the big ornament in Rotary Park, right?
Yep, and we got that big ornament in.
Yep. And then what's the money going toward this year for lighting up? What are you guys lighting up this year?
This year, we are helping Santa take flight.
Oh, that's right, yes.
Yeah,
You're
so we're
replacing
putting a
the
new
Santa.
Santa. We had this absolutely beautiful vintage Santa, and whenever you see it up close, you're just like, wow. I feel like I'm not sure what it's made of. I want to say fiberglass, but I could be completely wrong. But it has that it's really heavy. It's almost like, what is that old kind of bathtub? Like iron or something? I don't know.
So.
But it has that look to it, and it's really, really cool. But unfortunately, Santa has been over the falls for so many years that he needs to retire.
Cast iron,
Yeah, he's tired. So we had to find a replacement, because last year it did get broken. So we needed a replacement. We want to put a new Santa over the falls. And this one is, it's a little more modern looking, but it also comes with a pretty hefty price tag, because not only do we have to purchase the Santa, the sleigh, the reindeer, and all of that, but we actually have to rig up like a pulley system.
Yeah, the system to...
Yeah, so the system, because you have to, get them up there and make sure it can withstand the weather and that
Right.
type of thing. So it's a pretty big project, but this is going to be a really good one, because you can, be very, very visible, just like the big ornament.
So that's everything is just the Santa?
When
I was
we-
just wondering because I know you guys have all
No.
kinds of lights all over the place. So.
No, the first year was the lights on Main Street and all
Love
the
that.
trees, and then it even trickled down a little bit towards Kennedy Drive. And then last year was the big ornament, which was
Okay.
pretty pricey. We have we're talking about do we want to do a phase 4? But we'll decide that at the end of the year if people seem to be receptive, and do people want to see more lights in another place.
Well, the thing I love about it is, I don't know if you've ever been to Burlington, Vermont before, but Burlington also has the lights going across, stringing across the main street. It's actually called Church Street Marketplace. Burlington, Vermont, if anybody hasn't been there before, incredible.
I have not been at night or in the winter like that.
I think it's my favorite downtown anywhere in New England that I've ever seen in my life. It's enormous, beautiful, and there are mountains on the other side of the Lake Champlain, which when you're coming down the hill and you see the mountains on the other side of Lake Champlain, it's pretty breathtaking. So in New England, another one of my favorite places is Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
And they do a great job with their Halloween displays for the scarecrows are the best I've ever seen anywhere in my life.
Nice.
So you have the lights in Burlington. It's like we're taking all these pieces of the puzzle from all over the place and bringing them right to our little beautiful downtown.
Yeah, and making it our own. I think it's important that if you see something in another area and you say, I want to do it here, you have to make it match your community.
Yeah.
You know, it can't be a cookie cutter thing and try to do the same thing. It has to be what your community wants and what is the vibe of your community and what are you special and known for, and make it a part of that.
I agree. Yeah, I think we've learned a lot from this conversation, and it's not just you have to have fundraisers to get money for this stuff. So that's one thing that I think maybe we should do more of. But we're actually doing our first celebrity bartender on October 30th, Railside, Killing the Business Association.
Nice.
For charity, but you
Right.
know, we're not that charity is important too. But
Absolutely.
we also need to raise money for improving Killingly too.
Exactly. It's so important, as I said earlier, to remember who our sponsors are. Because these people that come out and sponsor time after time after time, look at them on our website, look at them on our brochures, and support them, because they don't balk. When we ask for money, they write the check.
I was amazed at the support that we received in Killingly
It's amazing.
this year. It was incredible.
It really is, and it's because they know that they are a vital part of the community, and they want to give back.
Yeah.
But we have to remember to keep on supporting them, because they're the lifeline.
And they know that we're the ones that are boots on the ground, getting the job done.
Yep.
And maybe they're working X amount of hours a week, and they have families, and they got their own, like we all do.
Yep.
But at the same time, maybe for whatever reason, they can't get involved in the organization, but they can contribute financially.
Yep.
So at least they're being supportive.
And actually, some of
make our
those
area better.
people, I'll have to say that a lot of the people that are sponsors,
They're also participating.
They are boots on the ground.
Yeah.
So they
That's
should
true. A
they
lot of
get
those
lots
are.
of pats on the back.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We have such a great area in northeastern Connecticut, and it seems like it's just getting better because of people like you. Thank you very much for everything you do. Contact information one more time before we close it out. Was there anything else that we want to talk about? I do have those two questions that I wanted to ask you before we close it out.
Sure.
But then we'll get your contact information at the end. If there was anything that you can think of, and I ask this to everybody, and I have my podcast, that you wish you would have known or could have really helped you out a long time ago, what did you wish you knew a long time ago?
I wish that I had started writing the book. I wish that I had written down all the things that have happened here over the years, because running a restaurant and the employees, the customers, the stories that have happened would be a fabulous book. So I wish I had written a book, because I could put that together.
You know what I wonder though, thanks to Facebook, and I know a lot of people are either plus or minus about Facebook. I personally love it. You can go back on the timeline, and it would probably give you some cues on what was going on in your life at that time, and you could probably still do that. I bet you could still put it together if you ever have any time.
I was just going to say, I'll see if I can do that in my downtime. Maybe when I retire, maybe I'll start trying to remember it now.
That's a good point, though.
That is something I say all the time. I wish I had written a book, but...
So a diary or some sort of a journal or something like that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. No, I mean, I can't think of anything business-wise, but I really and truly would have done that.
I wish I would have become a realtor a long time ago.
Yeah?
I could definitely say that. Yeah, I spent a long time kind of spinning my wheels in a bunch of different areas, and I finally came to the realization that this is what I should have done the whole time.
Yeah.
But another question for you is the skyrocket thing. In any organization, I think there comes a point, hopefully, where your business just goes through the roof for whatever reason. Maybe
Okay.
you made a change of career. Maybe you started doing things a little bit differently with marketing. What was it like with the PBA? Actually, is a pretty good example. When we changed it from the Merchants Association to the Putnam Business Association, and Ron Kadare was president, and word just seemed to spread. Like the enthusiasm seemed to catch fire out of the blue. Can you think of other events, or was it for the Courthouse or the Courthouse of Putnam 5K, or anything that really just skyrocketed the business, the amount of people involved?
What I will say is when we first opened, we were non-smoking. So 21 years ago, you could still smoke in restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
And when we actually purchased this building, the smoke was so thick that you actually had to like scrub it off the walls.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so, and we're not smokers, so it really bothered us.
Oh, yeah.
So we decided to be non-smoking. And let me tell you, everyone said that we were going to fail miserably.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, you're going to be a bar and you can't smoke. What's wrong with you? That's terrible. But we were like, okay, well, we'll try it. We'll try it. And people loved it. So that was one thing. And I want to say that the state did not change that until we were in like maybe year 7. And at that point we thought, oh no, that it's going to hurt us because then we're not going to be the only ones, but it didn't. So that was one big thing. And I think sometimes you need to take a chance like that and say, well, we might be the only one, but geez, it really bothers us. It must bother other people too.
And there's a lot more non-smokers than smokers, so it actually
I
makes
mean,
sense.
Right. So 21 years ago, it was different. People didn't really talk about hate smoking like they do now. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, it really
so that's
bothers
one
me.
big thing. Yeah.
When you were a smoker, I used to be a smoker too, unfortunately, and I never realized how terrible it was until I quit smoking, and then now I smell people that smoke, and I'm like, oh my god, that's really bad.
And when you have children and you want to go out to dinner, you don't want to be. So we knew that. So that was probably one big thing that we took a chance on, and it worked to our advantage.
Yeah.
But I will say, let's see, I'm trying to think if there's any other thing. I mean, I guess it started with some of our events like the clam bake. We used to do actually a German night too, but the cook that we had that had those recipes, we did it for a long time, but he's not with us anymore.
So you were so involved in so many events for the courthouse, and then you join the PBA and you see like, well, look at all these other events that are going on. I'm already doing so much. It's just a natural fit for you to become the business coordinator. Correct? Or
It is correct.
Yeah.
I was asked to be on the executive committee about 2 years ago, so I got on the executive committee, which again is still volunteer. You're not paid for that. Then a few months into it, Marcy Dolly had given her notice as being the business coordinator. The business coordinator is a paid position, so you do need someone to handle the emails
we really
and the
need that with
paperwork.
the KBA, yeah.
And it's a 20-hour-a-week position. So at that time, I was like, well, I would like to do this, and we've got kids in college now, so
I totally forgot about that.
yeah,
that's a good
so
point.
it is a paid position. So I do some of this work at being paid for it, and some of it I am doing it as volunteer.
Probably not as profitable as if you were to focus your efforts on your own business.
It's true. It's true. There are definitely in the past, even this past summer, I was in way over my head with First Fridays. It was extremely busy, and I realized we have no courthouse shirts left, but we're hiring new people, and we're like, we don't have any shirts. So I'm like, these are the kind of things that are sort of getting away from me. So I have to make sure that I get here into the courthouse and do what I need to do here.
Right, delegating things.
And
right?
delegating.
Yeah.
I have, like I said, I have wonderful staff. I've got Sarah Smith here. She does so much. My fave, I always call her, shouldn't be, but Courtney Estlin. She's fantastic.
Courtney's been here for a while.
Oh yeah, and her sister Casey. We have such wonderful people here. Our kitchen staff is solid. But yeah, we have really good people that I can rely on, and I can sort of delegate and ask them to help me out with things, and they do.
Excellent. Well, one more time with the contact information. If anybody has any questions or anything, they can reach Sheila Frost at phone number
860-428-9995. The actual restaurant phone number is 860-963-0074, and we are at 121 Main Street in Putnam.
Awesome, Sheila. Thank you so much for another incredible podcast. I appreciate it. I'm just going to say a little bit about myself before we close it out. Anthony Shabbat & Associates Real Estate Group of EXP. I'm proud to announce we now have 4 members of Shabbat & Associates. We have Megan Lawrence, which is my fiance. We have Marco Epifani, and we have brand new realtor Jay Lorette added to the group, which is excellent. We do drone videos, virtual tours, floor plans, professional photography, social media, open houses, you name it, we do it when it comes to real estate. 508-847-0902, Anthony Shabbat at gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. So thanks to Sheila Frost for being on the podcast, and thanks everybody for listening. Have a great day.